We are live, and I'm really happy. We are like 4 minutes too late. It's like the German punctuality in me. Not happy with that, but we are here. I'm really happy that we are here today. So we can start our life. As I told you, Raimonda, I have a ton of questions to ask. But before starting our life, I am really pleased to have you with us, Raimonda, today. Because with my audience, with my community, with my clients, we are speaking a lot about authenticity, about visibility, about personal branding, about how to be seen and visible the right way. And I thought, well, why not asking you to come, because you are the expert about visibility, about public speaking, about finding your voice, being able to bring it out in an unapologetically way. It's exactly the term that you use usually. So we met about 2 years ago. We worked last year together on the book that we wrote together, the Women Thrive Volume 2. And then we worked as well together we met as well in Valencia for the retreat and for a keynote, international keynote events. All that we have done, and we are still in touch. But Raimonda, before I continue, can you introduce yourself? Can you introduce what you do and why you do it? And who are the person that you are in contact with, or your client, your community? Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, first of all, Christelle, thanks for reaching out. And it's a pleasure to always reconnect. And it was so interesting because when I shaved my hair, you got in touch like, I need to interview with you questions. I'm like, okay, all right, so we're gonna have to do this. So you are actually the first person to really delve into this with me. I'm excited to get to share some things. But before we begin, yes, of course, I'd love to get to know your community, and obviously, I know a lot of my community will be watching this on replay. I've been an entrepreneur for, I would say, maybe 15 years since I came out of university in London. That is a big part of me, and I've always been on this quest of having a business that would support me and my vision and my values really in the way I want to live my life. So I have a Women Thrive Media, which is an international community for women. We host an annual Women Thrive Summit. We publish books. We have a magazine. And personally, I love to be a cheerleader for women who want to put themselves out there, and they build a business and like they really want to get their voice out. So I am visibility expert, mentor, supporting women in sharing their stories, doing public speaking, building their authority. That's sort of my jam, and I love supporting women for that.
Before we go into your new style and why you have done that, one question is that you support women to have a voice and to spread the voice as an entrepreneur. But do you see that it's important, or it's different for the women being an entrepreneur or for women being in a corporate job? Do you see that it's different, the way we maybe should share our values and voice, or do you see the same? So more or less.
Certainly not the same. The mindset is very, very different. And I've got a lot to say about this. Okay, I'm calling you out. I'm calling you in. I'm going to call you out. Okay, so take a seat. Let's have a chat. Now, if you are in employment or you have a traditional career and you haven't started using your LinkedIn or started to think about yourself as your own entity, this is the time to start thinking about that. You do not need to be an entrepreneur to have a reason to be visible, because with what's going on in today's world, more than ever, I believe that everybody should be utilizing social media platforms, especially LinkedIn, if you are in a professional field, to build your own profile. Your employment is not guaranteed. right? Nobody's job is secure, nobody's future is secure. So if you sitting in your job and you're thinking, well, I don't really need to do that, the truth is you will need it at some point. And if you're not building your authority, your thought leadership, your personal brand, you're seeking another employment will be much more difficult, because essentially every employer will be looking at you. What do you bring to the table, right? What is it that you are really good at? So if you love something, if you're really good at something, start writing articles, start talking about it on social media, start sharing stories of the things that you do or how you help others or the transformations that you've created in your team, your experiences. That is super, super valuable to someone, and it allows you a creative expression. It allows you a platform to share your thoughts. And I think we should all be getting used to doing that in some shape or form.
I agree with that. And on top of that, I would add that it's a new exercise to do that, right? So to form your thought on articles and so on. And doing that, it even sharpens your expertise, because you have to think differently. So what are the essential things to share? What is the thing that I am an expert on? What do I love to do? How can I share this passion or this expertise and so on? So, and having all this thought all the time, so help you really to be even more defined in what you are good at and why, and how to bring that out. So it's like giving your expertise, but at the same time being even more aware about that. And I have the same, for me it's the same. So I always say that use your LinkedIn profile, because indeed your job is not secure. I mean, my husband at the program last year, he just got fired. It's like, oh my God. So
Yeah. I saw a really good post recently on somebody's profile, and she said, I've been giving away my LinkedIn to my employer for years until I realized that my LinkedIn is my LinkedIn. It's not my employer's. And it's like your own CV, and it's a digital profile to represent yourself. Represent yourself. Because you never know, in a future job, I would love to speak to more corporations to say, nurture your team members to build thought leadership. Because if they are more influential, more outspoken, more intelligent online, they represent your company, and therefore they help you to also spread the word. But for yourself, you've got to have your own personal brand. You might want to one day write a book. You might want one day follow your passion. You might want to do public speaking or training outside of your job. Then you have that set up. You won't have to start from scratch, and you already have audience who are engaged with what you do. They're interested. The truth is, you don't have to just be an expert, just be a human. Because in the end of the day, people just want to connect with people. Just be a human.
Yeah, I like that. Just be a human and share what you know, what you learn, or your journey, and it's enough. And people are interested and interesting. So I like as well the idea that when you attract the right people, so some magic happens, and you don't even think about it at the first place. So network is all that. Okay. We go into the into the theme. So the question that I want to ask you for weeks already. So why did you decide to cut your hair? So if you don't know Raimonda, she had long blonde hair until like something like that. And you can still see a lot of picture with her old look. And now you decided, and you did that really like live. You did that in front of us. So why did you do that? What was the idea?
Oh my goodness. I think I had so many comments, so much response about it. It's a new level of liberation, and it's a new opportunity to step into my true, authentic, and unapologetic self and represent my true values, embody what it is that I champion for other women. We're too afraid of society judging us. We're so afraid of what others are going to say, what others are going to think, how am I going to look? We're so worried about the way we look. We put on masks, hair is a mask, makeup is a mask, our clothing could be a mask. I mean, everybody got some kind of insecurities or they want to put up a front. And that is even more so if you're working in a corporate environment, in a job environment. When was the last time you were in a setting, such as a professional setting, and you felt truly yourself, right? That is so uncommon. How hard is it to just be yourself? Why is it so hard to just be yourself? Yeah, I find that women find it the most hardest thing to be true, authentic selves. And I've been championing this message for a very long time. I've been talking about thought leadership, visibility, authenticity, being your true self, embracing your true self, representing your true self, speaking your truth, sharing your message with the world for a long time. And initially, I shaved half of my hair, half of my head, right?
Yeah.
And I loved it. I was going through a big transformation in my life. I left a long-term relationship. I moved countries. And I wanted to take my power back to say the hair does not need to define me, because again, women are so conditioned to say, oh, you're so beautiful when you have long hair and your long hair makes you right. It's all about hair for women. And it's a crown that we wear. And I've been having issues with my hair. My hairdresser's been burning my hair. It's been causing me a lot of heartache, a lot of heartache. And the last job was me arranging a hairdresser for me and my mom, and her coming to my house, and she doesn't have any equipment for me to do my hair. I said, are you serious? I took a half a day off. I had things lined up, like interviews, and I needed to get my hair done. And she's like, well, no, I didn't bring anything. Anyway, it takes a very long time for me to do your hair. And as if she didn't want to do it. I was like, okay, then. I'm just going to go and shave it off.
So easy.
Like, why am I bothering with this? Really? And I found, at first I didn't, because I was really overthinking it. Of course, I had fear.
Sure.
I had, it's like, what is it going to look like? Am I going to regret it? Am I going to ruin everything? Now I'm going to, bunch of thoughts. And my partner said to me, I love you, bald head, like, I love you no matter what. And I'd love to see it. I fully support you, but don't do it if it's just emotional. If you're upset now and you're going to regret it later, don't do it. And the entire day I was thinking about it, and thinking about that feeling of like, just coming out and just saying, oh my God, I can finally liberate myself from this pain and struggle I'm having with this hair. And in the evening when I put my daughter to sleep, I said, no, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I've been thinking about it all day. I need to do it. And of course it was still scary, but I started shaving it and it started to fall off my head. And at first I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is the craziest things I've done. And when I finished, I was like, wow, imagine this thing that you had on your head for so long that you thought is the thing that made you, the thing that was defining you. You get to be free. And I looked at myself and I was like, wow, that's just me. It's just me. There is no mask. There is nothing. It's just me. I fell in love with a new level of me. I felt a new level of freedom, empowerment. There are times in my life when I really struggled with my voice. I struggled to get in front of camera. I couldn't speak. There are times when I looked in the mirror and I couldn't see myself. I didn't know who she was. I couldn't get my voice out. And when for the first time I looked at myself completely bald, no masks. There was just me. I was like, finally. I can actually see myself for me and step into my true authentic self and represent everything that I stand for truly, authentically, unapologetically, and I'm here, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. I hear so many things. So the first thing is that it was something that it was a struggle in your life. And at some point say, okay, I don't want this struggle. I don't want these things with my hair. So I want to get rid of it. And I was thinking as you share that it is okay, what are the struggles that I have in my life? Then I could do the same. Like just cancel them. I just put them away. I don't know. I do the action that just free me from that. And so that was the first question. And then the second thing is that I remember we had this talk last year, and I asked you why you shaved the half of your hair, and then she told me already like it was really like a really nice feeling of freedom. I can remember as you say that. So as I saw you, I was like, yeah, sure. So it's so logical kind of. But I hear that it's like you did that in 2 steps, you know? So it's not like you decided to do that today. You had already like this first step a few years ago as you decided to do that. It was not so extreme, but I think it was as a lot of fear as well at that moment as you did like this like baby step in comparison with today. And again, so that brings me back to, if I do some comparisons, our life is that, yeah, so where we are now, it's a journey of what we have done in the past and our thoughts and our struggle and so on. And the other thing that I hear as well is that, I mean, it's only hair. I mean, in a few months, you can look exactly the same than before if you want. So it's not like life-threatening things that you have done. However, I am sure, and maybe people, you can put that in comments, how many of you would be ready to do that? So not that much, because it's exactly, we see you now and you look beautiful, and you see that, oh, it was so cool and it was the best thing that I have done the past maybe a month. However, at the moment you have done it, you had this uncertainty that it was the right choice. And again, if we do the parallel in our life, so there is so many things that at the moment we do it, it's like a lot of struggle. Nobody see that, but people see only the results, and they think like, wow, I mean, it looks so easy when we look at you. And it wasn't easy. And even if we see you do that on the camera, we don't really see the emotions a little bit, because you discover that in the same time that when we discover the video. But it's like really, we don't see like the dramas or the thought or the lesson that you take from that. So it's all, that's what I take. And indeed, one of my questions would have been, how did react your partner? I didn't know if you asked, as if you told that before, or if you just did it. So my thing would be, I just do it, and then he has to deal with the consequences. But no, you had already like the support before.
Yeah. Well, you know, I thought about doing this about 2 years ago because it was causing me again a lot of pain back then. And again, I got really frustrated and I said I was just going to do it. When I thought, oh, maybe not, you know, the overthinking. And here's the thing, you know, it was nice connection that you made about something in your own life that's causing you pain. It could be, when the thing I think of is a relationship that's causing you problems. But you think, ah, just stay in it, it's comfortable. Oh, you know, taking a leap feels a bit scary. Or a job, right? It could be your job that you feel unhappy, you feel struggling in it. Every day you're waking up and you're thinking, not again, not again. I mean, to take care of blonde hair, let me tell you, It's a lot of work. It's very expensive. There's times I fly in from Spain to London to do my hair.
It's
Okay.
crazy. The time, and you shared as well how many products you had.
Yeah, so I
I was
took
like, oh my
picture. It is not all of them. And there was layers of it. I started to go through. I was like, how many products can I get rid of now that I don't have hair? Oh my God. And now I just have one soap and one oil for my hair. And that's it.
yeah,
Liberation. Look, it will feel scary. It will feel challenging. It will be a big leap of faith. But as you said, if it's causing you that much pain and struggle on the outside, everybody might be thinking, oh, you got the best job in the world. Oh, you got the best marriage in the world. But it feels like your foot doesn't fit the shoe anymore. You outgrown it. And I feel like I've grown my
the blonde
mask.
hair. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't need it no more. I don't need it to define me. I define myself. And since doing this, I've become so much more outspoken, so much more confident, so much more in my truth and in my essence. When I coach, when I speak, women just say, you ooze a whole different energy.
Mm,
So I'm sitting in my truth. I'm not no
mm.
longer defined
But
by it.
I fully agree because it's exactly what I felt. And that's why I reached out directly. And because I felt like, okay, now it's the true Raimonda. It's really like at the moment I have seen you, or even after that you sent like the first selfie with you in your hair, and then I was like, okay, now we have her. It's her, because indeed, so long blonde hair, it takes a lot of space, and it's like a little bit like a cliche, and then now it's you, so there is no cliche anymore, so it's just you. So and so for me it was really like I love the new Ramonda. Definitely.
I'm still getting so many messages about it. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that my audience understands it and get it and see it for what it is. There were a lot of people that didn't understand it and said, "What on earth did you do? Oh, are you sick?"
Yes,
So
yeah,
some people
exactly.
will not understand it. And
Yeah.
it's
What do you
okay,
do?
they're not going to.
What do you do with that? So what do you do with people that they don't understand what you have done, and they reach out to tell you that you are wrong, that you do the wrong choice, or in this case that you have done something wrong and it's not okay. So how do you react with this kind of people?
So I made a bit of fun out of it and I said, when people said, "What did you do?" or "What are you doing?" I said, I'm doing what makes me happy, or I'm changing my look. Um, and shaving hair is really liberating. You should try it sometime.
I had thought about that. But I don't know. So I don't take really care of my hair. So they do whatever they want. They have their own personal branding somehow. So I thought that for me, it's always like, what is the more practical things? And I believe that the way they are, it's the most practical one, because the way you have them, so at some point you have to go back to I don't know what you are going to do. What are you going to do in 1 month or in 2 months? Did you think about that?
I'm really enjoying shaving this, the whole new
Okay,
experience.
perfect. It's a meditation
I
experience.
love it. I'm looking forward to exploring barbershops, okay? Because women don't ordinarily walk into
Mm,
barbershops. So I'm looking forward to trying that out. I want to do like
yeah,
fades, shaves, just kind of stuff like that. And then I want to try some like I've never been brave enough to change my haircut. I've always had long blonde hair, simple.
okay.
Always highlight. I try to make it look natural because I like that natural blonde look. And in the process of doing it, I've just really messed up my hair because obviously blonding your hair is not helpful. But I want to try pixie haircuts and maybe even coloring. And who cares? Shave it off again if I don't like it.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not keen on growing it back. Not yet anyway. Maybe at some point. I look back at some of my old pictures with long hair and I'm like, That was beautiful. I must say, it was really beautiful.
Mm,
But it's a new season,
mm,
and you kind of have to move on and just say, hey, I'm going to embrace this new season now.
mm,
And there might be some gifts, and I might really love and enjoy this season too. It's different, it's not what it was,
mm.
but there is beauty in it in itself. And let's meet her. Let's explore. There was, you know, when they say blondes have more fun, I think bolds have more fun.
That's going to be your new slogan, so your new headline. Um, so if we do a parallel with our job life or our business, what kind of parallel would you like to draw, or what kind of message are you sending right now? Because you are active on social media, people speak about it, you have a lot of messages. So what is your message for the women? It's not only shave your heads, it's what is the deep, the core message that you want to share there?
The future you is waiting to be discovered. Okay. There's a future version of you. And when you think about it, you know, we have dreams, we have goals, we have visions of, oh, I want to be there in so years. It's not just about reaching the goal. It's not just about getting a better job or getting married or, you know, become millionaire or whatever. It's not that. You might think this is what you're chasing, but what you will realize is who you become in the process. Okay? So the future you is waiting for you. She's waiting for you to meet her there.
Mm.
But you'll have to go through life experiences, challenges, and hop over some loops to get there.
Mm.
So I want you to have a think, who is the future version of you?
Mm-hmm.
Who is she or him? Okay? And see, where do you need to liberate yourself to meet her there? What do you need to let go of?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you need to become? What action do you need to start to take? So I think it's so powerful when you start to realize that we are in control of our own lives.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not what happens to us, but what it is that we do about it. What actions are we taking towards that? So my whole message is really about being your true authentic self, because I believe that we all want to be ourselves and be empowered and feel good within ourselves. So that's all part of it, is
Mm-hmm.
becoming the true authentic version of yourself that you look up to now.
I like the idea. It's really like you know, I do a lot of meditation, and in meditation I do this kind of stuff, like looking at your future self and speaking to your future self or ideal self, or and I like the idea that to look at in your life in where will find the future self that I would like to, because we can have different future self, right? Depending of the path that we will take. So if I take this path, like I stay in my job, he is going to be my future self that I'm going to meet. And if I go in this job, he is going to be another future self. And this job or this business is going to be another future self. It's like, which future self would I love to meet? And then what kind of action, if I love to meet the future self being an entrepreneur, so what kind of action can I take it now in order to be able to meet this person? And it brings us not to, I am going to wait to be this person in order to get there, but I'm going to start now to do the actions in order to meet this ideal future self that I would love to meet. So the idea is really like, what kind of actions can I take now? And it might be these kind of actions that people think that it's crazy because it has nothing to do with your career or your business or with your relationship or whatsoever, but it's the first step. So it's all about now. So it's all about listening to this talk right now and thinking, okay, what is the action I'm going to do today in order to meet my future self that I would like to meet? So what are the things that you are doing right now, Raimonda? Because I know that you put a lot of now in one of your posts.
Right now, I think it's been a very interesting season. And I've been in the season of uprooting everything in my life. Because I think if you want to have a new garden, you have to get rid of some weeds. You got to pluck it all out. So this year has been a lot about that, plucking things out of my life, my business, my surroundings that no longer serves me because I've evolved. And then looking at the new seeds that I want to plant for my future self, for my future life. And just taking action accordingly, just putting those steps in. And it's not easy. And I'm one of those people, as you see, I'd rather throw it all out to rebuild new. Because sometimes the foundations are broken. Sometimes if you're going to try and build a skyscraper on a broken foundation, it's going to crumble. So sometimes you just have to say, look, as hard as it is, you just have to pluck it and start fresh. And that's what I'm doing in a lot of areas of my life, cleaning up. Let's clean it up and then build a new again. It's not easy. I mean, I've built my business for a long time, and to change all the processes and systems and everything that runs, it's not easy. But I'd rather go through the pain now than struggle later. So, we're writing another book now for women. I'm writing my own book.
Okay.
Called Unapologetic. So that should be released in the spring. I'm releasing a signature program also called Unapologetic, which is for speakers and authors and those who want to build their personal brand and thought leadership, to really step into it and learn the skills and be empowered. For me, it's all about empowerment. And I think collectively within my community, we have a big work to do. Big work to do.
What do you mean with big work to do?
You see, I like to push a little harder when we face with adversity. Okay, sometimes we get too complacent, it's comfortable. And we don't really need to fight that hard when it's comfortable. But when we're pushed against the wall, when we're given a challenge, that's when we are given the opportunity to rise. So right now, as everyone's seeing that we have a new president in the States. For me, that does not align with my values. And I believe that women are at disadvantage and a huge risk. For me, who represents women values, women empowerment, for me, that's important reason to go even harder. To make sure that women have a voice. To make sure that women are empowered. To feel like they can speak up. And I'll do anything, and I'll go as far as it's possible to make sure that we as women continue to have our freedom and our liberty. So now that we are faced with this, that allows me and many others the opportunity to rise and say, we're going to pick up a fight. So we've got a lot of work to do.
Okay. Just for the people, because you are not in US, right? So you are in Europe. But still, you see the impact that it can, as what happened yesterday, that the impact that it's going to have on the world.
Yeah.
It's not 100%. Only US, yes, yeah.
And it starts small. And recently, I was so shocked to find out. You see, we have to look beyond what's on our doorstep. Because if we only look at what's on our doorstep, you don't realize that slowly the world that's happening around us, maybe far away, it'll start to creep up to your doorstep very quickly if you're not aware of. let's take COVID, for example. We all thought, oh, this is happening in China. Oh, it's just something going on in China. Within a month, that thing was on your doorstep and all over.
Right.
So same for women. And if someone comes in who has a lot of power, a lot of thought leadership, and starts to inject and infect the overall community with a mindset, with a thought, with, a drive of their mission and their agenda, it'll start to affect people. And it'll start to affect leaders around the world to start taking similar actions. So, for example, something that has happened in Afghanistan recently, that women, not only they are not allowed to go without face covers, full face covers, not able to speak, but now they are not allowed to listen to other women. So imagine that. You're not allowed to speak. You're not allowed to uncover yourself at all. You're not allowed to listen to other women or congregate. How insane is that in today's world? We think it's somewhere far. But the fact that it's possible for that to happen in a particular society, and how did that happen? It was slow, right? You don't realize that you're being cooked in that pot. So we have to realize the signs around us, and that can come back to your position in now, your job, your environment. You might be getting cooked in that pot, but you're not realizing. And by not having your voice, and it brings us back to using these platforms like LinkedIn to have a voice, to have your own power, to have your own brand. Because you might neglected that, trusting in everything around you, trusting in government, trusting in your employer, trusting in your church, in your society, whatever. Truth is, you don't realize you're being cooked until it's too late.
And you don't realize that you are being cooked, but as well the other in the other generations as well. So I know that so my why is a lot as well that I want women to be strong, because women are, and we discussed that already, women are still and are going to stay very centered in the family and a leader of the family, sometimes the biggest leader of the family. And then if you are a strong woman in your family, so you are going to give the right tools to your children or to the children around, not only your children. When you are a mom, anyway, you are with a lot of children around, and then you look at this generation and then you want the best for this generation. And I have seen that with my client, I have seen that with myself. So my boys are very strong, and I have boys only, but it's the same, whatever. So I have only boys, but I think the way I am being influence a lot my boys and the way they are acting with women. And I would have girls, it would be exactly the same. So I would really I want to be strong in order to be a role model for the next generation of boys and girls, and then for them to be able to stand and to be free, to speak their freedom and so on. And I see that with my clients. So as soon as they do my program, so they start to look at that differently, look at how their own improvement, growth, evolvement, so have an impact on the others. So if you grow for yourself, if you stand for yourself, it's not only for yourself, it's for all the people in your environment. And I think that having that in mind, it gives you even more the power to fight, as you said. So many women say, I know that I'm less paid than my colleagues, but it's okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay, because if you accept that, it's going to happen for the others. So if you
100%.
know that you are less paid, then fight for it. It's not okay. That's it. Maybe you don't need the money, but it has nothing to do with the money. It has to do with the values you give to yourself, the values you give to the women, and to help other women to get better. So it's not only about you. I agree. It's all about what you do. You have the responsibility for the people around you, kind of, anyway, even if you don't want to take this responsibility. Yeah.
Even if you don't want to. 100%.
Even if you don't want to. That's the problem. And as women, I agree, we need to take care of that. Yeah. So I know that we have a listener, and I don't know if there is any questions. I think we have Petra. No, Petra, she's listening, but we have Iona saying that her hair was chopped a few years ago. So thank you for sharing that. So liberating that I didn't have hair to do tangle. Yes. Okay, so if you have, we said that it's sometimes it's not easy to stand for your values. You said that the most difficult thing is to be authentic and to which is really it's like it should be easy to be authentic because it's who we are, right? So it's a little bit contra how to say that, so contra-sensitive, that we think that we have to put a lot of work in order to find ourselves back. And what I would like to ask is, because it's really something that I have seen with all the people that are really authentic, really strong, and that are successful in their life, they really invested in themselves. It didn't just arrive like that. It was work, hard work, exactly what you said. So what did you do in order for you? How did you work on that? So how did you like put the layer away? Did you get some help? Did you do that by yourself? So what kind of steps can you maybe give to the people and say, okay, I would like to do that a little bit more as well for myself?
Yeah. I challenged myself out of my comfort zone. First, I got really aligned with what my values are, and I questioned that for a long time.
Yeah.
What are
So
my
the
values?
values.
And I had to peel the layers because I told you I struggled with my voice and I struggled to see myself the way others saw it, and I even struggled to see who I am. That was mainly due to depression and trauma that I was going through. And a lot of times when you go through life changes like motherhood or changing a job, or you lose
Change the
your
country.
identity. Yeah, you lose your identity. You don't know
Yeah.
who you are anymore. And the reason why we can't be our true authentic selves because we feel like we have to live up to people's expectations, to the society norms, and there is fear, sometimes guilt, and shame. So let's say you're judging yourself for your mistakes, you're judging yourself for your failures, you're afraid that people might not accept you because you feel a certain way about yourself. All of those things is disempowering you. Is the most common thing that will disempower you.
Yeah, like fear, judgment, and shame. So that's
guilt as well.
Guilt, yeah, guilt. So the first step is really like look at who you are, find your values. How did you do that? What kind of stuff did you do to find your values?
It was a journey. I questioned myself. I inquired about myself because there's clues in your life of why you always pursue a specific thing. Because your values will automatically make you make certain decisions. It will deter you from certain things, will connect you to certain things. Like I always love a community, right? I'm big on community. That's part of my values. I pursue entrepreneurship because freedom is one of my top values. Freedom for me is very, very important for a number of reasons that's connected to my past, to my family and their experiences. That's number one value for me. And the reason why I've chosen entrepreneurship is because of that. But the steps I've taken is continuously to challenge myself and always say, am I being authentic? For the things that I preach or the things that I say I believe in or the values that I hold, am I being true and authentic to it? And where in my life am I leading a way that is not in alignment because I'm leading other people, I'm preaching to other people to do these things? why am I not doing it? So I pull myself out, and I literally push myself off the edge of a cliff to go on, fly.
Go and see if you can fly.
Yeah.
So it's questioning yourself. So it's really like your inner work. So questioning yourself, asking yourself questions. That's the first thing that we maybe don't see. And then, but it's as well going out of your comfort zone in the real world. So actions to push yourself, and to, after the questions that you had in your mind and the answer that you get, okay, now what can I do with that in the real world? So you have really like this inner work and this outer work.
Yeah. And I took action, and I took big, bold action. I walked out my relationship of 6 years. I moved countries. I cut out things. I cut out people, reinvented myself. I took serious action. I took bold action. That's why the being bold
exactly
representative of the part.
And but so that means that you have the faith that it's going to be okay. You have the fears, but the faith is bigger.
100%. I mean, what else do you have? And you build that muscle, and you reaffirm to yourself of what you're capable of the more you do it.
Yeah, great.
Because if you have fear and you say, oh, I'm going to go out for a swim, but I know my biggest fear is swim, and you get there and you only dip your toe in and you pull out, well, you're reaffirming to yourself that you're not capable of doing it. But the key is go there and just jump. Go for it. And then see what happens. Because the thing is, you might like it. And you might just come back for it next day and say, oh, this wasn't... Because the fear, the inner mindset and the fear has a way of holding you back from the thing that you should be doing, of what will happen. But the truth is, it's not going to happen. So try it. Yeah. That's what I said to the people who were afraid of me shaving my hair. I said, you should try it. It's very liberating. Oh, no way I could ever do that. Then stay there. Stay in your comfort zone. Don't worry about it. Let me do what I need to do.
Where the comfort zone is not always so comfortable. That's the thing as well. So, but that means that you have this faith that if you do the big leap, it's going to be okay on the other side. Do you have more faith on yourself or on the universe or whatsoever, how you want to call it? Or what kind of faith do you have?
I think no matter what, I've got my own back.
Okay.
And things might not always work out in the way you wanted to, but things will work out in the way they're supposed to. And you may face challenges, but that's okay, because you remember that's part of becoming the future version of you. Those challenges are part of your defining moments, and the depth is going to create within you to be that next version. Because if I stayed in my comfort zone, there's no way I could do the work that I do today. There's no way I could hold space for the kind of women I hold space for, and the trauma that I help overcome for women, the empowerment, because I empowered myself. I couldn't speak from my experience. So if I stayed in my comfort zone, never faced these challenges, I wouldn't be reaping the benefits of it now to be able to do this. So I had to face those challenges. But in the end of the day, you know you're not going to give up. Like, I'm the kind of person, I'll never give up.
Yeah, that's
because what's other choice? Like, what else? You just lay down and die?
No, it's not an option. That's the thing. So it's like my son really likes one of the quotes. It's like at the end of the day, everything is going to be fine. If it's not fine, it's not the end of the day. So it's like it's going to be okay. And it's really like he really loves this quote, and he's really trying to live that as much as possible, and he's doing well. But that's the thing, that is like, yeah, there is challenges, there is difficult moment, but it's not the end. It's just pass through something in order to get to what might be the end, and the ends might be something very beautiful. So can you share with us maybe one thing that you really struggled with in your past, beside your hair, And a big lesson that you took from that, and one thing that you are still struggling right now. So one thing what you are still, it's still something that you try to fix, or you try to fine tune, or you try to find the answer.
So you all know me, or by now you know that I am visibility mentor, an expert, and speaking coach. It's a thing that I struggled in my life. I struggled with my voice.
Why your voice? What do you don't like with your voice?
Because I was disempowered in a particular time of my life. I felt like my voice was taken away due to trauma, and this is something I've wrote in the Women Thrive book series, actually. So I felt disempowered. I didn't have a voice. I felt like I was very quiet. People wouldn't hear me. I didn't feel very confident in using my voice. I questioned myself, questioned, not just like my physical voice, but my voice, as in my impact in the world,
Yes.
my value in the world. And I do this now on the other spectrum. I've gone all out to take my weakness and make it my strength.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I help others do now, to have a voice, to know that they're enough, to know that their voice matters. And you asked me what I still struggle with. At times I still struggle with that.
Okay.
Just the fact that I've overcome a lot of things, it doesn't mean that it's still the easiest thing because I'm so confident I can just get up and create content. It's still not that easy, and I still catch myself. Even one of my team members pulled me up in this yesterday. Ray, you got all these platforms, but you're not posting reels. He's calling me out again. I call myself out as well. But here's the thing. I'm going to keep challenging myself. So don't think that your weakness has to continue to be your weakness. It could be something that you continue to work on. Yeah. I know I've seen, especially guys who felt really small, right? Who are perhaps smaller than others and they don't have very muscles and they feel like I want to get big. And they go to the gym and they become big.
I have seen that yesterday.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
So they continue to work that muscle day in and day out. And they turn their weakness into their strength. But it doesn't mean it's still easy to attain it. They just committed to continue to work that muscle and continue to stay there at the top. So for me, it's still a challenge, but I am so committed and so stubborn to keep doing it until it becomes so easy for me. So if you're struggling with your visibility, don't think it's easy for me. It's still my challenge.
Yeah, definitely. Love that. I love that because a client of mine years ago told me, yeah, but you are so confident. And I was like, and she told me, but I'm sure it was always like that for you. And I was like, you don't know all the things that I have done in order to deal with that. And still so many questions that I have on this topic. That's why I'm so passionate about that, like I have done a live this week, self-confidence, resilience, all this kind of stuff. And for visibility as well, some people say, but you are everywhere. And I'm like, oh no, and I struggle with that as well. The thing is that, and where I think that it can become a strength is when you go deep into it, because I have done stuff that because some told me, okay, you need to do that. So I have done that, but I had like this inner resistance. But I pushed through. I am kind of used to push through too. Yeah, okay, I don't care, I just do it. But at some point, no, it's not the way I want to do it. I want to redefine myself and to do that my way. I am a quiet person. I am an introvert. I don't want to be loud in a room full of people because it's just not the way I am. And I can remember the last year as I came to the retreat, and I just say hello, and then I went in and I started to discuss with what two person, and then she said, it's amazing because these two person didn't speak together during the 2 days before, and you come and you just put them together and say, yes, it's what I do, it's my way of connecting people, but I cannot come in a room and being like, okay, all are my friends, and it's just not who I am. And if I try to copy that, it's not working because it's not the way I feel, it's not the way I act or react with people. But finding your own ways then help you to go deeper, and then to turn the strength that you have into something that you can use for this purpose. And then I think at that moment you are ready to help others doing the same, because you didn't just follow a formula, you discovered a way to help others as well to do the same, but with their own ways. And I like it's deeper than just trying and doing the ways that other tells you to do.
You see, if somebody told you you need to be like this, and you tried it, but it's going against of the way you wired, your nature, it would have been a really hard push. But you now became aware of who you are, how you function, and you stepped into your authentic self.
Yeah.
And things become easy.
Yeah, that's the thing. But that's why trying out things is good, not necessarily having the same success than others first, because you are trying things out that maybe are not exactly where you should go. But it's not a failure, it's an experience, and then you can continue to try out, and then you find your path, and then you have your authentic you, and then you have your voice, and then you do whatever you need to do for your purpose, for your community, for what you can give to the world. Yeah. So 1 hour is over. We have it. It's already. So we still have 2-3 minutes. I would love for you to give us like a last advice, or a last maybe questions that you can ask the audience in order for them to grow a little bit or to be closer to their future self, ideal future self.
Yes, that's what I want to ask you. Who is your future self? And how bad do you want it? Well, what is not in alignment in your life right now? What's feeling difficult? What's feeling challenging? And where you just need to make a decision to step out. Get really clear on your values. Get clear on who you are and who you want to become. And figure out where things are not in alignment or not in congruence. Just start taking action. Don't think everything is going to happen overnight. Success doesn't happen overnight for no one. So just know that there will be a process, and just enjoy it.
Yeah,
like
trust
you just
and
said,
enjoy.
Trust, have faith. You will arrive where you're meant to arrive. But enjoy does not have to be a challenge to be your true authentic self. Love and accept yourself. When you start to do that, the way I accepted myself bold, that I never was, I was like, wow, this is truly representative of everything that I am. Fall in love with yourself. And when you do that, your world is going to change.
I love that. Where can we find you? Do you do an event, a networking event today, or?
Yeah, we have a networking event every first Thursday of the month, which is online, and you can find it at womenthrivesummit.com. Anything to do with Women Thrive, you'll find our books, our magazines. So if you Google Women Thrive, you'll find our magazine, the book series that we have, which is Your Story, Our Story, My Story, and many other women. Podcasts that we have as well. And you can search me by my name, Raimonda Jan, on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram.
And then we find you in all these social media platforms without reels yet.
Yeah, maybe it will. Maybe one day.
Okay. Thank you very much for sharing all your knowledge and your story. I hope it was, and I believe, I know, for me anyway, it was inspiring. I told my mom is there, and I told her, you know what, after this life, I will not be able to concentrate on anything because I am so energized anytime. So we are going to have a walk or to discuss together, but I'm not going to be able to work straight. But maybe just to think about our future self. I think it's going to be our lunch conversation. So thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's always a pleasure. You're amazing. And yeah, I hope your audience get to experience your magic because you have that magic. You might be the introvert magic. Oof, but introverts are more powerful from the inside out. And when you come out and you say something or when you're there to support something, it's so smart. And I think that's something that people have to take the time to discover for themselves.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So bye-bye everyone. I am now, the task is to try to stop all that. So the ex-engineer in me is popping up. So I have so many
Buttons.
yes, I don't know where I can stop all that. But I'm going to just close a few windows, and I think the right one is going to be in it. Okay. Yeah, I think we are still alive.
Yeah, I think so. That's
Okay.
the magic of tech.
Yeah, I like that, to be honest. I like that. I like when it's not perfect, but now I have the right